My name is McKenna. I'm also a fourth year IB major.
Hi, my name is Shreya. I'm an MCB major, and I'm also in my fourth year.
And we also have Zach with us, and he's our moderator. So feel free to use the Q&A box to ask us questions at any point in the presentation. And so with that, I'm going to send it off to McKenna.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the summer courses that we have available for both IB and MCB majors. So you just have to go to the class schedule, and there you can search by department. You can filter for summer classes. You can also filter by major requirements to make it very easy to. And then by going to the IB page, you can just look up all the courses offered by filtering for summer. And then there you can also check to see if it fulfills the A, B, or sorry, my voice, the A, B, or C requirement. And then the same with MCB, you can just go there to check to see all the courses that they have available. So here's a big list of all the courses that we have available for the summer. MCB is on the left, and then IB courses are all on the right. And then we also offer classes to pre-college students. No previous coursework is required, but you should have some sort of background in biology or chemistry. And then these do not satisfy major requirements. And then these courses include 2 IB and then 3 MCB courses.
Hi, so I'm going to talk a little bit about summer research. There are a bunch of domestic and international research institutions that provide both funded and unfunded opportunities for summer research, but keep in mind that deadlines will vary from December to even early March. So it's really important to keep your deadline straight to make sure that you have the right application material so that you can have the strongest application possible. Our Office of Undergraduate Research is a great place to start. It's linked in this slide, and it has a lot of resources for getting involved in research. You can also find out about scholarships here and subscribe to their newsletter.
The next one is called SERP, and this stands for Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowships. And these are opportunities to fund your projects over the summer. For all of our slides for summer research, we're going to have the link that you can learn more about the specific opportunity for at the top. But specifically for this one, the deadline is February 18th for summer 2021. And there are 5 different fellowships named SERP LNS, SERP Rose Hills Experience, SERP Rose Hills Independent, SERP Math Team Fellowship, and SERP Smart. And with each of these fellowships, there are specific requirements to it, and you can learn more about that by clicking the link.
So similar to SERP, we have SERP. And SERP is a program offered through the MCB Undergraduate Student Association. That's what USA stands for. And so this is designed to connect undergraduate UC Berkeley students to labs for summer research. There's an info session in early March that you can find if you click on the link in this slide. And the application window is relatively short, but it is one of the later ones. So it opens March 1st and closes March 19th.
The next one is UC Natural Reserve System, California Ecology and Conservation Field Study. The link is at the top, and we will be posting these slides later online so you guys can click on the links. But basically it brings together 27 students from across the UC system for 7 weeks of learning. You are guided by experienced field instructors. Undergraduates transform into scientists by conducting independent research studies. So it's a great way to gain experience with public speaking and scientific writing skills, as you'll be led by a lot of people who have experience and gain a ton of feedback throughout these 7 weeks of learning. And this coursework is also approved for IB's Group B and field lab requirement.
Yeah, I had a friend that did that one. She really enjoyed it. So as someone who's pursuing a graduate degree in marine biology, I often get questions about how I can become more involved in marine biology research as a Cal undergraduate. And one of these ways is to actually go to UC Davis. And they actually have a marine lab in Bodega, which is really beautiful. So you can either do coursework, there are also research opportunities with different faculty members where you can pursue your own topic of research. If you do the research at UC Davis, you can also present your research in a professional symposium setting to other professional scientists, and they also have a really late deadline, April 1st.
The next one is Boston University's database, and basically this lists a ton of summer research opportunities by state and also international locations as well. These opportunities specifically incorporate clinical and research experiences, and they also list which programs provide stipends for them.
Yeah, so definitely keeping in mind which summer research opportunities are paid and unpaid is really important to finding your summer research, just so you know what your financial situation is going to be like for the summer. And one of the best things about an NsfRU is that it is fully funded for the summer, and they often pay for your housing and meals. And so there are a bunch of different REU sites which you can search through their program, and you can filter it by ocean science or geoscience or biology, physics, chemistry, any of those big disciplines. And an RU site, or an RU cohort rather, consists of a group of 9 or 10 undergraduate students from across the country who will work in the research programs of the host institution. And you're working really closely with a faculty member on a specific research project. So it's a really great way to make connections outside of your home institution. And these deadlines will vary a lot. So definitely click on the site and make sure you know which one, which due dates are for which site.
The next one is the Association of American Medical Colleges list of summer research programs. So on this link, you can see there are a lot of like medical schools as well as graduate schools listed, as well as the research they offer for over the summer. And this research is really great for people who are in like the pre-health track, pre-med, pre-vet, etc.
So the last kind of database that I'm going to talk about is called Pathways to Science, which is also NSF funded. And if you click on this link, there are a variety of other links on summer programs, even blog posts about how to get involved in research, or a blog post on how to apply to graduate school, and different professional development resources, for current and prospective undergraduate students. So this was a really great way to just see what's out there and get a breadth of what opportunities you can have during the summer.
Hi, so I'm going to talk a little bit about summer internships, and this is nowhere near exhaustive because there's just so many opportunities where you can go get internships, and it's really something that, resources can help, but, this is something that you need to take an initiative for it. But the most important resource that I highly recommend is the Career Center. And especially like subscribing to their newsletters, and a lot of people I know benefited from career fairs for networking. They come around once a semester, I think, and it's just now they're all virtual, but I think it's like very useful to go around for networking, and like that's a lot of people have found internships in that way. And utilizing the advisors and the resources that they have at the Career Center, especially for pre-health related things, is can be really helpful. And if you're just looking out to see what's out there, Handshake is a really great resource as well. It's especially good for biotech opportunities, and it just kind of lists everything out. So it can be as simple as like sending your CV or like writing up a cover letter and such. And another internship stream of opportunities, CalTeach is very good for like educational stuff. And they have specific programs that you can look into, and like all of these slides will be available so you can actually go to each of the resources. But that's a primer on internships.
Thanks, Shreya. So that concludes our presentation. I see we have a couple of questions in the chat. And if you guys want to go ahead and keep chatting your questions, we can keep answering them. We have the webinar until 6:30. So yeah. Oh, sorry, Q&A, not chat. Is it okay? Oh,
Yeah, how about I'll just read out some of the questions and then you can talk about them from there.
oh, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, so one that I've already answered a couple of times. So we will be posting these online. We're going to put them on both the IB and the MCB websites, and then we'll send you a link. So everyone who signed up and registered for today, we'll send out that link once they're posted. We'll also work on getting this video cut down and posted as well, so you can watch it again later. Okay, so one of the questions, is it okay to apply to these programs like the research-based programs without any research experience already? Does one of you want to take that?
I can take it. I think that it's really important to communicate that you are really, really, really interested in someone's research and how your previous, maybe a lab course, maybe something interesting that you learned in Bio 1A you'll be able to build on those skills in this research project. I know that certain programs in certain labs require a certain amount of research or they prefer a certain amount of research, but I think that it wouldn't hurt to submit an application with little to no research experience.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. A lot of them do say, like you mentioned, so the UC natural resources field experience, the California ecology conservation experience, that one does not require prior research experience. Many of the REUs, the NSF programs, are for beginning researchers, so they require maybe a lab class experience, but not an independent project. Same would go for some of the SERP Smart programs in the summer. Those are guided mentorships through research, so those are for beginning researchers as well. Okay, we've got another question here. How do we keep updated with the SERP program? Is anyone particularly familiar with SERP and wants to answer that?
Sure, yeah. I actually applied to it last year, I want to say. So yeah, so as I think Lauren mentioned, the application opens up on March 1st. And so like about like soon, like around that time, you'll be able to actually see a list of those projects and those labs and what specifically they're looking for. And they will also have details of whether it's like in person or online. And I would say like, you know, I think there are options for both. I think labs are opening up a little more to undergraduate students. So so if that's something that you're looking for in person, I think it's becoming a little more favorable. And I would also say, I think MCB USA has like, they definitely have a website, but they might have a newsletter or something that you can also just keep on track with when the application opens up.
Yeah, and speaking of newsletters, both the IB and the MCB departments have undergraduate newsletters, and we have registration links for those on the IB and MCB undergrad pages. So that's ib.berkeley.edu/undergrad or mcb.berkeley.edu/undergrad. And those weekly newsletters are not just for declared students. And so they contain a lot of information on student groups and clubs, including the MCB USA and MCB CDNA and their opportunities like SERP. And so to stay up to date with SERP, as well as all of the other opportunities that we get forwarded to us, you can subscribe to those newsletters.
I saw another question about tips and advice about writing applications. One tip that I think is helpful to note is looking into what this specific researcher has done in the past. For example, you could totally read about a previous publication that they've had, maybe in relation to the future project that you're applying for. And it would be, I think, really beneficial to show them that you really want to work in their lab and you care about the previous research as well. You're already coming in with some sort of background to give you an advantage with your application.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Nicole. I know that I try to structure my applications with a little bit of background about myself and my past research experience or skills that I've already like learned, and then talking about the new project and the research that this researcher has done and how we can kind of mesh and it'll benefit both of us to work together.
But also add on, like I know that when I started applying to labs, I had no idea. And also I found like the MCB like research, I would try to read the research of people and it would be so obtuse, like it would make no sense. So it's completely okay to have no idea, but just show that you're super willing to learn and really excited and passionate, because that comes across even if you have no idea what they're talking about, and that is completely okay.
And for current undergraduates, the Office of Undergraduate Research and Scholarship has webinars and info sessions every week or every other week. And a lot of them are geared on how to write an application, how to write a research proposal, how to talk to a professor, or how to ask a GSI about their research. And so those can be great ways to learn some of those general skills and then meet people also interested in research and learn from their experience. Okay, so we've got a couple new questions. Are there good summer classes that are only offered during the summer?
Marine biology is a class that's offered in the summer. I haven't taken summer classes, but I knew that one was on there.
Yeah, so at the upper division level, yes. In IB, there's marine biology, there's human genetics, medical parasitology. Those are all courses, and sports medicine. Those are all courses that are only taught in summer. At the MCB level, there is a CRISPR workshop seminar and a more of a generalist upper division lab that are taught in the summers. At the lower division level, many of our lower division courses are taught in the summer and throughout the year, but evolution of animal behavior, IB 31, and marine mammals, IB 41, and a very brand new class, IB 51, on plant domestication. Those are only taught in the summer, or more primarily taught in the summer. But the rest of the lower divs, your calculus classes, biology 1A, 1B, physics, chemistry, organic chemistry, those are taught throughout the year as well.
Yeah, and going off that, we are posting the slides like we said, and all those courses are going to be listed, so you can just refer back to those. You don't remember all of them right now.
I think I saw a question there, a couple of questions stacked up in the Q&A box. But going back to the background knowledge that they expect, sometimes you're going to be working on a project that you have a good background, and sometimes you'll get thrown onto a project that you have no background and you just learn the skills on the spot. But that's part of interning and part of gaining new skills, and that's part of why you're doing the internship in the first place. So it's completely okay to not have any background just because there are going to be a lot of situations that you don't know the background. Like if you're going into a new grant or you're trying to pivot your research, you're going to start from nothing and it's going to be a rocky road at first, but it'll be fun, you know?
So one here is, what kind of internships have you done and where did you find them?
Sorry, I feel like I'm talking a lot, but So after my freshman year, I did an aquarium internship at the Birch Aquarium because I'm from San Diego. So it was like an informal education. It was essentially teaching at summer camp, but they were educational summer camps. So there was a lot of teaching experience and presenting to different age groups of students, which was really fun because it felt like we were doing outreach, and it was really fun because we got to be in the ocean, we got to surf during the summer. And so that was one of the less serious internships I did. And then the following year, after my sophomore year, I actually did one of the NsfRUs. And this is an REU ocean science site. So I did mine at Duke Marine Lab, which was really fun because I got to go out to Beaufort, and I'm still really in touch with my mentor and a couple people that I met down there. And so my project was on environmental toxicology, and we grew cell cultures and exposed them to different chemicals to see how the cells would react. And then this past summer, I worked at Southwest Fisheries Science Center in San Diego as a NOAA Hauling Scholar. So the Hauling Scholar program gives you a scholarship, and they guarantee you an internship at a NOAA facility. And NOAA stands for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. So at one of their either fisheries or weather station site, depending on your area of expertise and interest. So I got to work at the Fisheries Genetics Division for this past summer, and that was really fun too.
Yeah, and so I'll add that there's also the Berkeley Career Center, and they have career and internship postings as well. And current Berkeley students can sign up for Handshake. And so if you have a Handshake account, then you can see a multitude of internships there. I think Lauren's story helps bring together that a lot of these internships come from different places and people find them different ways, but a lot of them can be connected. And so you might know someone who gets connected to something else, which you find your internship that way, and then you help connect. And this building this network really helps.
I agree with Zach. I also didn't want to say anything because I like, it's like, but I think it works for a lot of people, is like really using your network. And it's not just the people, in your family or friends that you know, which is also very helpful, but really using your network and like just, getting involved in clubs or like, just MCB related clubs or clubs of areas that you're interested in, because someone always knows someone, and there's like opportunities that come up, and that you have an indirect referral. So it's actually like it's a very useful way of getting an internship, I think.
I think actually I have two friends that did REUs this past summer, and they actually emailed professors beforehand and started a conversation about working together over the summer to kind of get their foot in the door. And it's definitely helpful when a professor like knows you and is like, oh, we've Zoomed, or oh, we've corresponded over email a couple of times. I definitely want to work with this person rather than having this like virtual stack of applications that it's like, oh, all of these people have really similar qualifications.
So to jump on the REU question, how competitive are the REUs?
They're fairly competitive. I know for our site, they told us we had 200 applications for 9 spots. And because you're working really closely with a faculty member, and you work with them basically every day, and you're doing an independent project. So it is really expensive to fund REU, so they can't have like a huge cohort.
Yeah, but these are just one type of program, and in these NsfRUs, there are upwards of 70 sites across the country, and so there are programs that deal in many different subfields of biology. All right, we have another question here. What type of summer opportunities would you advise specifically for freshmen, since a lot of the opportunities did seem to be geared towards upperclassmen? So what would be a good experience for a freshman?
I think it's totally fine to start looking at getting involved with research if that's something you're interested in, even though you're still a freshman. Um, I personally got involved with research as a freshman, and over the summer I also volunteered at a homeless clinic. So I don't think that a lot of them are particularly geared to upperclassmen just because research or PIs like having students there for multiple summers and multiple semesters as well. So it is nice to get your foot in the door early as a freshman or a sophomore so that you can stay with the project up until you're a senior.
Yeah, I'll add that we talked a lot about research experiences or experiences that include research activities, but the non-research things, the coursework, study abroad opportunities, some of the domestic internship opportunities like UC-DC or UC in the capital, even internships in the Bay Area or around the state or wherever you live, found through Handshake or some of the Berkeley networks. Those can be valuable experiences to teach you many skills as a freshman.
Also, like just to throw everything off research, there's also, I mean, it's a good time. I don't know if any like people are considering pre-med, but like great time to get like clinical experience or non-clinical experience in the field. It's a good time to like volunteer at hospitals. You don't need any experience for that. They're always looking for people, and go volunteer as a scribe or get paid as a scribe. So there's like a bunch of things you can do if that is also what you're interested in. And yeah, a good time to start doing that.
Have you done any non-science stuff or non-science related activities that you would recommend?
Aside from personal hobbies, like no.
Yeah, same. Usually I just end up working something like completely not related to school, just because I didn't find anything, any internships, or honestly, I didn't really look hard enough or put enough time. So usually I just do some work. Like I used to work at Dick's Sporting Goods. That's what I used to do in the summer. So
I'm actually a global poverty and practice minor, and specifically the practice. So just to give you guys a little overview, you take, I believe it's like 3 classes, and 2 classes specific to your practice experience, and practice experience is some sort of volunteer experience over a long period of time. And that volunteer experience doesn't have to do with healthcare at all. But you learn a lot about how to alleviate poverty here and abroad as well. And I think that was my most like non-sciencey related thing that I have done, but I still was able to incorporate some of my interests into the practice experience that I've done. But I think it's definitely something you guys should look into if you're interested in volunteering and helping the community or doing something with poverty alleviation in your future jobs.
I also just want to note that don't feel like you have to do research or internships during the summer. I know being in Berkeley, it's really competitive. So don't feel like you have to. Honestly, like I just enjoy taking the summer off and spending the time just on myself. But definitely like volunteering is nice. But yeah, just don't put that pressure on yourself if you don't have to.
Yeah, that's a great point. Way back when I spent my summers working with other students, either as an orientation leader. And so applications are open now if you want to be a Golden Bear orientation leader. And GBO always needs very dedicated students. And so orientation leader, or I worked at a summer camp one year. And that was maybe my best summer, working at summer camp and just working with other students getting them interested about new activities and ideas.
Okay, well, it is 6:30. If anybody has any other questions, type them real fast. I'll probably stay on for another like minute or two. But thank you for coming and thank you for your time. And I hope you guys have a great summer. It is February, but I still hope you have a good summer.
Bye, everybody.